All right, here we are. We are sitting down in Vermont. It's a beautiful night. This is probably one of the nicest nights
A fantastic day.
of the summer here, if you want to call it summer still. But man, beautiful out. And we're sitting down with a special guest, Wally Kangas,
That's me,
the Finn.
the Finn.
The Finn. That
like
might be
that.
a name that a lot of people recognize.
Well, I'll give you a quick reason. I was a ski instructor at Magic Mountain 65, 67. And I was the only American. All of them were Swiss instructors with Hans Thorner ski area. And those Swiss instructors, I got along really great with them. I would grab my dad's station wagon. I had a vet at that time because I would come up from Connecticut. I worked at Pratt & Whitney Aircraft for a year and a half. Couldn't handle it. And I came back, went into the building business with my dad. But 3-4 of the Swiss instructors would bail into my dad's station wagon with me, and I'd bring them to Bromley Mountain. And they called me Finn. So going to Bromley Mountain, we'd go there, and there was a center bar and a band in the middle of the bar. New York girls dancing all around, and Pabst Blue Ribbon on draft. So a lot of guys make me laugh because it's Pabst Blue Ribbon is what I drink, and I do. The reason that there was Pabst was because Fred Pabst owned Bromley Mountain.
Oh, okay. All right. So now that's making sense.
Yeah. So that's that story.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
No
So
kidding.
that's
didn't
how
know
I
that.
got to Finn.
That makes
So-
sense.
I guess we could probably roll right into that on the actual acquaintances that you have kind of with both of us.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't know if by you, I didn't realize it about you that you had worked at Pratt & Whitney for a while. I don't think you really realized how close you were truly to my dad even back then.
Oh, is that right?
My dad's mother worked at Pratt & Whitney for a while, and she only lived down the road there in East Hartford, maybe 2.5 miles away
Oh, no
from
kidding.
Pratt & Whitney. Yep.
Up Burnside Avenue.
Trying to remember the name of the street. But when you would pull into Pratt & Whitney, you know where Cabela's is now?
I do not. I haven't been down there for.
Okay, so
25
when you're
years.
looking at the hangars and all that stuff, where all the stuff in the back is where they have the new the football field for UConn, and then they also have the
Okay.
Cabela's.
Right.
Well, the road, let me see here, would be, I think, facing to the south. That goes down to the south.
Okay.
Down at the end of that, it comes to a four corners, and you would have taken a right, and her house was not just down the road from there.
Okay.
So it's
And,
that's
and of course, your dad and I knew each other
through softball,
because through softball. Yeah, he played on an opposite team than I
right?
did, and
Competed against each
so
other.
we were adversaries until the game was over, and then we got into the PBR, or I did anyway. So
You're right, right?
yeah, I lived right by the ball field here in Chester.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it was competitive back then. That was back in my mind when softball was big, because I can remember going down in the field. I mean, probably when my dad was in his mid to late 30s, I would say, playing, all down there. And I can remember when there was teams from all over. You couldn't, in the Chester parking lot, you couldn't fill that. You had to walk from the main road to
I
get
believe we had 12 or 14 teams. I played for
crazy.
what was the hindquarters, that steak house in Chester.
Yep.
And we had a great team. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's fun.
And Isaac, I met Isaac through his marriage to my friend Bobby Turco, who's passed, and also my good friend, his son, Justin. And Isaac here is married to his lovely daughter, Maggie.
That's right.
So we met at a couple of gatherings up there for Jebby. That would be your...
I don't even know what you call that. Cousin? Is it a
I
cousin at that
guess
point?
cousin by marriage.
Cousin by
Yeah.
marriage.
Yeah.
Cousin-in-law.
Great,
Cousin.
absolutely great family and a great hunting family.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody there. That's so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of miss not having Bobby call, and
Yeah.
guess that's what we're all headed for. He would have been 80 my age, 4th of July.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway.
And then
That's-
things kind of went full circle from there, because through Facebook and social media, like, I go back and forth whether I truly think social media is good or bad. But this is one of the highlights, and I think the good parts of like Facebook and the social media part is you had actually reached out to me by recognizing my last name, and I think you asked me if my dad was Joe.
That's correct. And
And-
then I realized that you were so big into turkeys, and I was a newbie to it, and you gave me a lot of help in the turkey business. And
Oh,
we went out
I
to
don't
eat
know
a
about
couple
that.
times.
That we did.
And I remember coming over, and you made me some calls, and you told me about this new lady that you met that you now have two
That's
beautiful
right.
daughters with.
Yep.
So you got Sam and the names again.
Sloan and Maisie.
Very nice. Very nice. So,
Warrior
and no
and
kids
weapon.
on your side yet.
Not yet.
Warrior and weapon maker.
Oh,
That's what.
That's what their names mean.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I can't remember in which like ethnicity, like, or whatever
Right.
what it's from, but I
Yeah.
do remember when I looked them up, they both Sloan would have been warrior, and then Maisie was weapons maker. So I was like, interesting for choice of names,
Yeah.
I guess.
Hey, well, that is cool how the names kind of evolve through time because
Right.
it's the way it works is like it starts out as this language,
Right.
and then it like turns into slang in another language, and then evolves to something else, and
Yeah.
then it just keeps
Yeah.
changing, and
Yeah.
everything means something different than what
Right.
it actually. Yeah,
My-
names especially.
My name wasn't Kangas, actually. Pardon.
Yep.
When my grandfather came over from Finland, his name was Kankankpää. That's Kankanpaii with the two dots over the A, whatever the hell that
Yep.
means. But Kankankpää.
Yep.
And nobody could pronounce it, and I'm sure you can either. But
Pad?
I won't. I ain't going to test you on it.
All
That's
right.
okay. So he changed his name to Kangas. And
Oh, he changed the last name.
He
was-
changed the last name. It was David. Yeah,
That's
David.
So
Patrick.
he was right from Finland.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
My grandfather and my dad, mom and dad went over there a couple times and whatnot, but I have yet to get there. I figure that's a bucket list when I can't climb hills anymore.
Now, Finland, is that like Northern European country?
Yeah, it's, you know,
Kinda
like
up above.
Sweden and
So
Yeah.
mountainous,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh, that's
yeah. I
cool.
had Don and I did the DNA test. Funniest thing that my pack of stuff that my dad had, we were going through. We were trying to clear out so you don't keep holding stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And about 4 years ago, we came across this thing, or Donna came across it, and it was my grandfather's naturalization papers. And it said he was Russian.
Really?
Well, that was pretty funny in this house. You're Russian.
That's funny.
I'm not a Russian. No, I'm not. Well, maybe we should find out. So, bingo, we both did get the test from the Ancestry.com, and mine came back 100% Finn.
Yeah.
So,
Really?
Yeah, I was pretty. I am for Finn now.
Yeah.
Right.
You're the Finn. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
So before we were even connected by the Turco clan, I already knew who you were on Facebook because you're pretty popular on Facebook, have been for quite a long time.
like me or love me, I'm there. I mean,
Yeah, you've always posted.
Yesterday, I tried to post something nice, and I lost some friends because of it. Not because of what I said, but because of what my friends said to them. So I think that absolutely blows my mind how that works.
Isn't it
sometimes,
funny?
but-
Yeah. But it's cool. You know what I will
Bye.
say? What I will say is it's admirable, I guess is the word I would like to say, that how you've been able to keep up with the times at your age. Because not a lot of people at your age are able to, kind of fit into that social.
Right. I would agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of people that can do that. It takes a very open-minded person, I would say.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That's a compliment. I really accept that very nicely. I try to live a little bit of it back then and, and a little bit about now. And I mean, a lot of hunting that we'll talk about gets into that. I mean, it was so different back when I was your guys' age, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What year did you get your first hunting license? Do you know?
Well, I started going out with Dad. I was 8 years old. Excuse me.
So that would have been in the
He must have gotten me a license because he did let me carry a 22. So I don't.
So in the late 40s, that would have been probably.
I was born in January 45, so I'm not a baby boomer. I'm the year.
So you would have been
before.
early 50s then, probably.
Yeah. So 53. 53.
Yep.
And the next year, I went out and Dad had me carry a shotgun. It was an old Model 12 pump. He put slugs in it. He had me shoot it and everything. And I didn't really like that, but I did. And I didn't build a flinch or anything over it, but anyway, I carried it.
Yep.
And we were on hunting off Middletown Road, where the Rowell's Inn is, up through to the Western Road. We're hunting on the Hilltop Farm Road side of it. And Dad had just bought a Model 81 Remington. That's that one that's got that big tube, and it's a Browning design, and 300 Savage. I didn't want to get one, buddy, so I just liked the gun. Whatever, he'd been hunting for years with a 35 Remington. That Toivo Autio from Massachusetts, Fitchburg, Mass, was a good friend of his, and he had lent that gun to my dad, and my dad had it for 15 years, killed a bunch of deer. Nothing horribly spectacular, but that one up above.
Oh, yeah. That was killed with that rifle.
That I had made from my heaviest Maine buck. That one there, he killed with an 06 way back, and I don't know why he ever didn't stay with that, but for some reason, I guess he got wind about that 35 Remington, and he really liked that cartridge. He shot that with just flat iron sights, a blade sight on the back. It wasn't even a buckhorn. It was flat and he could shoot it.
Now, was that with a lever gun?
No, that's an automatic.
That was an automatic. The 35 Rem was.
The 35 Rem was a Model 81.
Like
Remington,
a Browning, like a big, heavy thing.
Gotcha,
probably, right?
gotcha.
It looks
Okay.
like the humpback Browning.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
Right.
very
Yeah, so
heavy.
it's built off of like the A5 platform. It's
yeah.
got the square back on
right.
it. Yeah.
Now, if I looking back, I'm not really a big gun nut, but what I remember is maybe the 35 was a Model 8, if that's right, and then they made the 81.
Gotcha.
And I think that the model, I know I'd be wrong if I said any more other than I think it had kind of a straight and not a pistol grip on the stock. I don't know. Maybe they made them both ways. It was nothing I wanted. It was a boat anchor.
I was going to say, those are heavy guns.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I've got a
it's probably
shotgun.
9 pounds.
I got a shotgun like that same kind of
Yeah.
design, and it's like, it's like 20 pounds. It's like big,
Yeah.
old.
But that
Fun to shoot, though.
But that Remington in the rifle had a barrel that was probably inch in diameter, and then it had a sleeve that went inside
In
of
the
it.
spring.
And
that's what worked the action, was
That's
the
exactly
bullet
right.
going off.
Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
Anyway.
they're cool.
So
Fun to shoot.
Okay, we're getting to the good part.
Yeah.
So we're up there, and it was a little bit of snow, and it was crunchier than could be. And I'm behind my dad and walking along, a lot of a winter beach and everything there. And all of a sudden he goes, "Why?" He says, "It's a bear. There's the bear." I said, "Shoot it, Dad." And he gets up and he lets fly with that thing. And I see that bear go whoomp, like that through the winter beach. So now it's probably, what's a 9-year-old kid going to gauge distance? But in my mind, I'm trying to think, he was close. He was close. I could see his punk. All I could see was his pumpkin. And my dad says, I said, "I can see him, Dad. I can see him." He said, "Well, shoot it. Shoot it." I said, I don't know what I said.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, the bear just spun and went down. Well, my dad was shooting silver tips, and he never shot silver tips. That's all he could get for this 300 Savage that he didn't want anyway, but he bought. Mm-hmm. And make a long story short, it ran out of blood very quickly, but my uncle found it a week later. It died down. We lost a blood trail on it. We watched. Should I say watched? we walked that track for a long time trying to find more blood or anything. And finally, Dad said, I don't know, maybe I just grazed it or something, but he did. In fact, I think it ended up hitting it in the guts.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Yeah.
Well, and that had to have been back. That had to have been back in a time where you really didn't see a lot of bear. So that had to have been kind of like one of those. Oh my God, it's a bear.
Of course not. And my dad was really stable as a woodsman and everything, but I think seeing a bear, it was like holy, you know.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And I think it rattled him, and then he suffered over that for a while, but he got rid of that gun too a week later, and he found a 35.
He did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
So what was the 35 that he originally was using? Was that a lever gun?
No. That was the
okay.
same automatic.
Oh, okay. So
he went from a 35 that was a borrowed given to him gun, but Toivo Aru decided as he was getting older that he wanted that gun to go to his son or something.
Gotcha.
So Dad gave it back. Dad bought the 300 Savage, and then
in the same gun,
in the same
platform.
Platform.
Yep.
Good. And then he went and bought it. He finally found another 81, which had the pistol grip in a 35.
Gotcha.
And he carried that for quite a while.
Because I think my grandfather had was it the 41? The Remington Model 41 was one of the first. It was the old corncob stock
Pump?
spiral
With the
pump.
spiral?
Yeah,
My buddy's grandfather had one of those.
And a 45. And a 35. And
those were popular.
Yeah,
back in
and
the day.
he hunted with that
Nice
for
little gun.
until it jammed on him one day, and then he threw it in the back of the pickup truck, and cracked the stock, shooting at a big buck, and it cracked. So he walked all the way out from the woods, walked to the back, and he had my uncle in tow, and he took it from the barrel and just right into the back of the pickup truck, and ended up cracking the stock.
You know what's funny too is you say about the silver tip bullets. My buddy's grandfather that had that 35 Remington, like you're talking about with the corncob and the spiral pump.
Yeah.
He had a box from his grandfather still of those silver tip.
Those were Winchesters.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. That must have just been the thing back then. That was like what people shot.
Was that the
silver
first
tip.
attempt at polymer tips, or was that led right out to the end?
No, I think the silver was something different.
It was a
I do remember them because it was like the polymer tips on bullets are very small.
And
the
this
silver
was
tip was
like
like half the bullet.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, and it was flatter than this table.
Yeah.
On the end.
Yep.
I never thought it was a very good bullet.
Well, they were probably just trying to figure out how to get more of a mushroom, I'm assuming.
I would
soften it up on the end. And
Now somebody will.
I'm sure
Yeah,
we'll get some
somebody-
comments that'll
we'll get
explain it,
experts,
which would be helpful.
yeah. But I don't think there are very many guys shooting Ox 6s or 280s like me or 35 Wellens that are silver tips anymore.
Not anymore.
They don't make them.
They don't make them, yeah.
No, they could dip them in paint, I suppose, and say,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. So you started at a really young age with your father.
Yes,
And
I
then,
did.
so can you tell us, and I'm really fascinated about this, and I know Morgan is as well, the early days of hunting Vermont and like what you've seen, how things have changed throughout the years.
Well, I killed my first buck at 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get one the next year, but then I got one when I was 12, and my dad watched me kill that buck with a 243 that he had bought me. And he ended up having a 243 the next year because it just plowed it right high in the front shoulder, and that deer just went right over backwards. It was a 4-pointer. And my dad wanted me to kill as many deer as I can just to get really solid about it. So I did. I killed 7 spike horns in a row of Vermont 11-pointers.
Yeah.
They've since gone into strikers for turkey calls.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Gotcha.
That's cool.
And with no remorse.
Yep.
But hunting in the old days was pretty much around farms. It was a lot of ag.
Yeah.
There's no ag now.
A lot of deer too, like a lot more.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of deer. You go out and see deer. He'd set me someplace and make a circle around me, and next thing I know, there'd be does fawns coming and running through. Once in a while, a spike horn that ended up not doing so well. But I had doe coming down a logging road where he had sat me, and I actually put my hand out and had him run right past me and run my fingers right down the side of him, and maybe a fawn or a yearling right after that. A lot of nice deer in the Andover area. There was a lot of deer over here in Weathersfield, but we never hunted there. Dad was really a very fair, ethical guy. So-and-so, we're not going to... What about there, Dad? We're not going to go there because Billy Joe Bob hunts over there, or Andy hunts over there, or here. So there were so many places that we knew other people hunted. But when we were successful, everybody wanted to go where we were going. You know?
Right.
We weren't whacking anything big. We were just...
You're deer hunters.
We were deer hunters, and I can't say I was meat hunting because I was killing spike horns. That was all I was seeing. So
that actually brings up a good point. I try to have this conversation with people when they talk about how good it used to be back in the day. And I ask them, well, a lot of times that's exactly the point that I try to hit with them is, I guess it all depends on what your definition of really good is seeing 30 deer a day in the same spot every day productive compared to seeing less deer and better quality over time.
Dad would drag us away from those places. He says, all we're going to see is Molly and Jill. And we almost sometimes had names for them on certain farms and what. Of course, you see, my dad came from Leeds, South Dakota. That's where he was born. My grandfather, David, was a miner in the gold mines.
Oh, really?
He died of black lung when I was 5 or 6 years old. He was a wonderful man. I really remember him. It's amazing that I can remember him, and I don't remember toys. I don't remember nothing. I remember my grandfather because he was so good to me.
Made an impression on you.
Yeah. But we would go to different areas and try to seek out other deer, and basically we would do what I did when I started hunting all alone was when my dad might be doing something with my mother and taking care of my grandmother. And I go and I would do my own recon, and then I learned how to do recon in early spring, and then go out early fall, and just when the bucks are starting to lose their antlers, and you might see some rubs show up and maybe early scrapes or something, and then I'd just kind of write that down in a book. Maybe I had 4 or 5 different little areas that I would go to, and that's where I would continue to go back, and it always started going back to Terrible Mountain that my dad introduced me to along the time when I was 19, 20. And we hunted the lower sides of it, and I said, Dad, I'm going to start hunting the top. He goes, I don't blame you. You should. Now you got to mind, my dad was 41 years older than me. So I had the oldest father in the class of Springfield High School, I believe, for the class of 63. But he was also the coolest, too. He was a funny guy. He'd be here. He'd have us in stitches. God love him. But he said, yeah, you should start doing that. So it was the second week of 1969, and I told Dad as he started to get older, his hands got cold and his feet got cold and everything. So I said, well, just hang around the truck. He says, yeah. He says, I can get one here just as well as you can up there. So up the hill I went. And there was a skiff of snow. And I worked my way to the top. Now, Terrible Mountain has like 3 peaks on it. It's got the highest point, and it's got a saddle that goes down, a big beach saddle, another peak, and then it goes along kind of flat, and it goes up to another peak, and that's where that plane crashed years ago from the JNL.
Yep.
You've heard that story. So
I haven't heard that story.
you haven't? Well, it's not hunting, so.
Tell us after you tell this story.
7 men died in
Oh
it
my
from
God.
the JNL.
What's the JNL?
JNL was the Jones and Lamson Machine Tool Company in Springfield back when.
Yeah.
So they were flying back from work or something?
Yeah, they were all like executive guys, and of course 2 pilots, 5 guys, and I think it was 7, maybe.
That's too bad.
Somewhere somebody just posted that recently. But anyway,
Is there still some of the remains up there?
oh yes,
The plane?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
yeah, they went up immediately after, and they took out the 2 Lycoming engines in there. They, even though they probably weren't running, and the props probably tore into everything, but there's still the parts are worth something.
Right.
Those. Anywho, so this is my first trip up to the top of this mountain, and I get up to the top, and I'm looking for tracks, and I'm looking for sign and everything, and all of a sudden I come right into a big old beach rub about 4 inches in diameter, and I go, ooh, this is a big buck doing this, and mind you now, I haven't killed a big buck yet. So I start moseying around, going back and forth, learning it, and right off the top, I go down, start to get down into that beach saddle, and I come into about 5, 6 different deer tracks. And I'm saying, they look fresh. Once again, it's a skiff of snow. The leaves are making noise, but the wind is in my face. Everything is favorable for where the tracks are. And I go, I'm still hunting. I'm not tracking deer because I don't really have a track to follow. Other than a lot of tracks, I'm in the deer, pay attention. So I'm paying attention. I come around this one big old beach like this, and I turn around and I look, and these deer are running flat out across that flat from right to left, headed towards the western side. And I look, and that buck right there, that second one in, 10-pointer,
Oh,
is
no kidding.
flying right across there. And I took my
What scored?
I took my gun, brought it up, safety off, and I was doing a lot of trap shooting back in those days, and I just
That's great.
pulled ahead, and I touched it off as it was going up through some beech whips, but now we're talking not close. It's probably 80 yards up through, and all I see is tails running. I didn't do too good on that one.
Yeah.
That's cool,
So-
man.
It's a great buck.
That
Nice
was a
long
great buck.
beams.
You're not going to believe what it weighed.
No, I probably won't.
201. That's the only
Really?
only 200-pound buck. I don't know. He was a young buck, had a small skull, but he was fatter than hell.
Great beams.
Yeah.
He wasn't even really rutted up or anything. I did have it mounted. That's how this is like that.
Yeah.
And I dropped it, and so I put hot glue in the back to split the skull. But that's the only huge at that time. And so make it already too long a story.
Oh no, this
shorter.
is we can go long.
I'm going up and I'm going through these beech whips. And there's all these tracks. There isn't any blood or anything. I guess I must have booted it. So I went left and I went right, and I started to do one of these. And my dad had taught me. He said, don't ever give up if you think you might have had a chance. And all of a sudden I look, and there was a depression, and that buck was laid out here, and I'd hit him right there.
Oh, so he dropped.
Right there in the side of the neck, and he just went down. Of course, the other tails are all running and everything.
Yeah.
And what do you think I did?
To get him out of there?
No, I puked.
You were so excited.
Yeah,
huh?
It just overcame me. And I'm like, I almost left. I was really about ready to just continue hunting.
Right,
just
right.
saying, well, count that one up,
Yeah.
But at least I saw a big buck finally. I got to shoot at a big buck. And there he is.
That's awesome. What a story. That's
And what year would that have been?
69.
69. So for
And
that time,
and that gave me the bug.
yeah.
Just
What-
like all the guys, they got
Yeah.
what caused it.
I was going to ask you that.
And that also taught me about tracks, and that I should start doing that because, all those years I'd been going to school, and then I'd come home, and I was only a weekend hunter, and I went to East Coast Aerotech, which has nothing to do with the building business that I did for 44 years, but I really wasn't one of the smart guys to go to college and become an engineer or something like that. But I was good with my hands. You know that. You've seen the stuff I build. And anyway, I went to school down there, and would come home on the weekends. And then when I got done with school, I went 18 months straight rather than taking the summers off. I went to get a job with the airlines because I had A&E tickets, power plant licenses, and airframe. And the airlines weren't hiring, I'm glad that they didn't. So I went to Pratt & Whitney Aircraft.
Yep.
And I got a job as in production test down in the bowels of the building. White shirt, tie job. Hated it. I'd go out to the test cells, production test cells. They'd say there was a problem with a fuel pump or something like that. And I'd come back and write a letter to the vendor that this thing crapped out, and not knowing anything about the fuel pump, but you're just shuffling paperwork. Didn't make a ton of money. I think I got $7,500 a year to be there, and I was a year and a half. I had enough. My dad says, "You're so good with your hands. You're hating it down there. You're back here all the time, every weekend." He said, "Why don't you just quit and come work with me?" And my dad had just 2 years before that quit running a business, which was building related for another company, and he started his own. And then I joined him in February of 67. Is what it was. Yes, February of 67. And we got incorporated and had a corporation for 44 years. And Dad retired in 1972, and he went fishing with his buddies and had a great time. But he was always there for me if I had any questions, or I'd call him up and say, "Order this for me, order that for me," or whatever. And so he was like a Gal Friday,
right,
in a hunting coat in my office for me, and that was a wonderful life at that time. So, yeah.
Different times then too.
Oh.
The people, it seemed like the people, from what I've heard, the people that moved up here from back then were way more. It seemed like they moved up here, they bought a Vermont house, and they adapted to the Vermont living.
Yes.
Not like the lifestyle that we're seeing today, where a lot of people are moving up here and they're trying to change here to be like there.
Thank you, because that's exactly the way it is.
Yeah. Because I talk to a lot of people, like a lot of customers that we have in the plumbing business, and like especially the ones that I can tell that are not local Vermonters, but are people that have been here for many, many years, and they still live that old Vermont style. And then I'll, like, through conversation, they'll be like, "Yeah, originally I'm from like Mass, or I'm from this area or whatever." And they're like, "We moved up here," and it seemed like it was always right in that between of 1970 to 1980. That like there was a big like shift where people moved up here, but they literally left where they came from to come here and live differently, not trying to come here and live like they were back there and now.
Or come here now and tell us how to do it.
Right, exactly. So, but needless to say, I mean, it's just a incredible story. And going back and talking about your dad, when you killed that buck, what was your dad's reaction when you finally got to go down and tell him?
Oh,
because was it at this time was that the biggest buck you guys had killed in your family?
He was bullshit. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
he was ecstatic about it. He goes, "Now you know."
hey, you know what? That's a huge in my mind to have a support system like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially, it's what I understand. I'm sure for your dad, it was great for him to live vicariously through you because now you had the youth
Yeah.
and you had kind of figured it out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That totally different time then, and for many years thereafter too.
Yeah.
That buck right up there, that 8-pointer, I was able to, that mount, I don't have very many mounts, but that 8-pointer came from the same beach lot
Oh, no kidding.
that I killed this 10 in.
Nice one.
That one was
beauty.
in 97 and he was 180 pounds.
Nice one.
And I'm sure for the viewers part of this, if you're watching this on Isaac's YouTube, I'm sure Isaac's going to do a pan out and he'll probably take a view of some of these bucks and have.
If I remember, we said that last time.
Right, right. No, I'll remind you. I'll remind you this time because that's what actually made me think of it. So
yeah. So I have two in the room in the living room I told you about. One of those was 196. That was an 8-pointer. I've killed so many 8-pointers.
Right.
Not a bad problem.
Right. And when we're talking 196, also that's pounds, correct? Because I'm sure there's some Midwestern guys that's like a 196 8-pointer. Holy moly!
Yeah, we got to clarify that. Because they don't really much weigh them out there. But
right.
Anytime I have my last 3 bucks from out there, I've weighed them, and that Illinois buck there was 226.
Wow, that's a good one.
And that one below it.
I remember that buck.
And that one below that is the one that the damn guy who cut up my meat, he skulled it, and I told him I wanted to do a euro on it.
Yep.
So anyway, Chris Halsey just did a fantastic job on putting those antlers on there, and
oh yeah.
It doesn't score much, but that weighed 252 pounds. That's my heaviest buck.
Oh my gosh, that's a good one.
And it was like when let's see, that was in 2006.
And those are dressed weights, correct?
Oh yeah,
yeah, dressed weights. Yep.
Yeah. Right. But when I saw that deer on the ground, there was no way. I said to myself, I'm going to drag that.
Right.
But I got help.
Yeah.
And it was downhill, luckily. But it was hot, and it was dry, and it was probably half a mile, but it was all downhill.
Right.
Not like the one above it, which was all uphill.
Right. So here's another question going from that, because that's what's very intriguing to me too, is not only have you found success in the Northeast woods or the big woods of the Northeast, or I guess you would call the northern New England states, but you've also hunted in other places of the Midwest and places like that. Do you feel, because I know this is a common like back and forth that, claiming to be or however, do you feel that growing up here in the Northeast helped you be a better hunter in the Midwest, to be able to like lock in on a spot, really pick out an area where you thought you could kill a big deer? Or did you think there was a separate kind of learning curve because the difference between landscapes were so different?
Well, as a rifle gun hunter and also a bow hunter, I would definitely say that growing up and learning about how to kill deer with a bow in this geographical area, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine too, but I've never bow hunted Maine, but I have New Hampshire. Definitely taught me so much more about deer before I ever went out west, that I'm sure that I had different things floating around in my head and what to do than maybe the guys that live out there.
Right.
But yet again, we're going out there and we don't have any advantage over, we got, you're going out there, you stole 7 days to go out, and my buddy Mark, who happens to be in Arizona right now, chasing elk, after
Awesome.
17 years, got himself a drawn.
Wow.
Mark,
It's got to be a good feeling after 17 years, huh?
oh, yeah, but the anxiety, and every year you don't get drawn.
Right.
Right.
So I would say that, yeah, I think that us hunters from the northeast have a better handle on the way deer are, because they act different here, but still they have some of the same traits.
Right.
Uh,
Is there far less of it? Like, it takes so much more to find something here that when you go out there and you actually see it there, and does it seem like it becomes so much more obvious because it's
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
The runs and the rubs and
like what
the poo, everything is so obvious out there that I can go a long way around here to find deer sign.
right?
A long way around here. I mean, you see this area, and I know it pretty well. That 8-point right there, I killed that with an arrow.
Yep.
About a quarter of a mile back on the last day, because I see him go across the road, and I said, I think I know the run they're going to use, and woodsmanship. I knew my land.
Yep.
And but what my point is, that's the only buck I have ever killed in 24 years of being on this property.
Really?
Yeah.
That don't say a lot for it.
Right. Well, and I guess more or less what my point was is that I don't know if the camera just shut off right there or what happened. Screen went dead. So.
Oh, that's fine. I can work on that. You guys keep going.
So I guess more or less what my point was is I'm not saying that there's not great hunters. I think there's great hunters across the country that come from everywhere.
Absolutely.
I more or less was just trying to point out for the people that have never, because this is the one thing that always has kind of made my mind like, I'm trying to think of the right word here, I guess would be like jumble, is that it seems so funny that guys from the Northeast just want to hunt everywhere just because, we seek more, but you very, very rarely ever see somebody from states where there's higher deer numbers come here to try to kill
Oh no.
a buck. It's just, it's kind of a different mentality. You know what I mean? And that more so that's what I find so intriguing about you, is that you're not only doing it being successful here, but you're able to go out there and it shows. And a lot of the bucks, I mean, those are both gorgeous bucks in my mind.
Thank you. Well, just to give you an example of something, I think I may have told you this already, but I hunted almost solely New Hampshire last year.
Right.
I think all seasons, I believe I had 3.5, 4 hours in Vermont.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed New Hampshire so much more.
Yeah.
And it was productive for me.
Yep.
Doesn't always work that way. I have hopes of Vermont. I got a couple of deer on camera.
Yeah.
I know there's another story on cameras again, which I think they're a great tool, especially for somebody my age. And I use 3 cell cameras, 1 in New Hampshire and 2 here in Vermont. Is that they tell me what's going on.
Right.
If I want to hunt there, if I'm not getting anything, I'll go and move it. But they're remote. They're far.
Right.
I have some around here that are 9/10 of a mile from this house as a crow flies.
Right.
So I mean, for an 80-year-old guy just to go running up there because you just saw a big buck on that, that doesn't quite work.
Right.
And that's what makes me, laugh, because I don't see anything cheating about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's a good tool for sure.
It's a good tool.
Yeah.
That's it exactly. Just how you worded it. It's a tool, and used as a tool. I don't see, because I'm here nor there on any of it really. I have my opinions, I try to stay open minded, and I do see a bit of both sides. But
I do too.
it is definitely it's a tool, and it's just like anything else. A tool that's abused is no longer a tool.
Right.
It's an abuse.
Now, if I had more than just that one deer in 24 years, and I had one down here, let's say an apple tree that's producing, which comes to find, I have about 10 apple trees on this property, and I only had like 30 apples on one. I don't get it this year, but I got acorns all. It's just a driveway. You come in there, coming off the trees. So, but you put a cell cam down there, and next thing you know, you get a ding that there's a deer down there, and it's daylight hours, and you look out the window, and there it is, and you put the gun out the window and shoot it. No, that's
Right.
not ethical to me. So,
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a line. There's got to be a line with it,
Yeah.
But
But
especially like for me, I know, and like you had just said, like I have cameras in other states. Like it's not like it's just nice because you can know what's going on in that piece of woods
that's right.
while you're home working or
That's
you're
right.
whatever,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And you guys still got to put in the time and effort in the off season to go scout it and find a spot to put the camera. And I think that doesn't get talked about enough. It's still hard work.
And you're sitting here and everything's good, and you just came back because where I have my camera in New Hampshire, it's on a good friend's piece, and I have all the permissions in the world to have it there. You go out there, you drive 42 minutes to the site, you walk half an hour down into the woods to change the batteries, and you look and everything's working fine. You get home and the next thing is telling you that it doesn't have enough battery, and then you go, oh no, I just put the old batteries back in it.
Oh no!
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's kind of a joke. That didn't happen, but
No,
I mean,
it could.
That can happen.
Oh, yeah.
So now back into rig, back to the next day, and because you want to have that thing functioning. Zach Pearson, great young guy, his pictures and what he does and everything, it's got to be such an enjoyment for him what he does.
Right.
And
Some of the grunting bucks that he gets on camera, and the bucks that he gets that are in their beds.
fantastic. and the thing for me is it's just such a pleasure to put it out there and say, oh, I wonder what I'm going to get this morning. And I get up and fire up Spy Point, and I get all 3 different cameras fire up, and there's nothing here. It's like, wait a minute. And then you go to the status, and you check the status, and it's like,
Make sure
but
they're okay.
It's a thing for an old guy to do.
Yeah.
Right.
It's nice.
Well, I would argue with anybody that says that cameras in general, especially cell cameras for real time, I truly do believe since the advent of cameras, like in data wise, that cameras have probably taught us more about deer. Like trail cameras have taught us more about deer than we would have ever known just by having a guy sitting in the woods trying to observe deer to learn from them.
There's no secrets anymore.
Yeah.
No.
No.
We pretty much know.
You guys, I'm sure you have heard about it, but back in my day,
Yeah.
when they first came out, somebody I saw it on Outdoor Live, somebody came up with the idea that you take and you tie a piece of thread on this tree.
Yeah.
And it would trip ones. Yeah.
And then it breaks, and you go, oh, the deer's going that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, how many came back this way after they broke the string going that way?
Right.
So then somebody goes, oh, yeah, put a little timer on that. So at least when the string breaks, it gives
Timer
you the
stops.
time that the string broke.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't buy into that because if I find a sign, that's what I'm looking for. I want to find who's making that rub. I want to find who's making that scrape. That buck right there, the 8-pointer that I killed in '75. That I told you he was 180.
This one?
Yes.
Well, I thought you said 97.
No, 196 was out there
Oh,
in the other room.
I got
oh,
one that's
oh.
196 out there.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you said 1997.
Yeah.
But you said
No,
190.
I killed that one in 1975.
75.
6 years after this one.
Oh,
Right
okay.
in the same beach
That's
lot.
cool. Yep.
That buck, I also got him. We had a skiff of snow back on Route 11, which is just over here. So that morning I headed. My dad was still hunting with me, but my grandmother was still alive. And he said, I got to bring her to the doctor. And I said, okay, Dad, well, you don't mind. I'm going to go. Oh, go. I want you to go. He said, I want you to hunt all you can. He says, here's my tag, He's just like, and we're talking about the days of the extras too,
Right,
and anybody
right.
doesn't think that ever happened is crazy. But he wanted me to have as much fun as I could have killing deer. He did.
Yeah.
And game wardens would be knocking on the door later. So that buck, I headed up on Terrible Mountain, and I headed in from another side, and I'm working my way up. There was a lot of hobble bush and everything, and so I'm still hunting, not legging it to just try to find a track. I'm still hunting because there was an inch of snow, and it was still sticking to the hobble bush and whatnot. And I worked my way, got almost all the way to the top. And there's a ledgy face that is where that beach lot is, that beach saddle. From there down a little bit, and I got to that, and I noticed there was a big deer track going down a hill, and I'm looking at it, I said, well, he looks good and bucky. So I started to follow it down and follow it down, and I stopped. And I do this often because I'm a grazer. I got to eat all the time. So I reach in my pocket, I bring out a Hershey bar or something, and I'm eating that, and I look, and that buck is coming right back up his backtrack.
Wow,
that's awesome.
That's cool.
There weren't no jumping or anything,
No.
and I just sat there. We had a small hemlock tree that was lucky it didn't have a lot of branches here, so I could just kind of lean against it. I had the rifle all set, and I could see him. He's weaving here, and he's weaving there, and he's weaving in there, and I saw the antlers. The first thing I saw was the antlers. You know how that crap was.
Oh, yeah.
And he came up. I killed that deer at about 15 yards.
Wow.
I just let him keep coming.
Why not?
Awesome.
Let them come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about what a turkey hunter is all about.
Right.
Yep.
Let them come in close, and that was so exciting. That particular deer, because I did have to watch him for. Well, a minute's a long time doing that.
Might as well be an
But
hour.
I'll bet it was a minute and a half that he was zigging and zagging and whatnot. And I said, he's coming on a rope up. An adjusted rope all the way up to me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have a piece of branch on a plaque, with a big hole through it, like I've seen some guys do.
Yeah.
I whacked him, and that felt really good.
I bet. Yeah. That's awesome.
That's
He's a
something to
great
be
buck.
said about that, to have that kind of patience, though, because a lot of guys, when they start seeing a deer and they have to watch them for that long, then the
hard,
brain
yeah.
takes over rather than.
Now we're going back to what I said.
Yeah.
7 spike horns in a row. Dad wanted me to kill deer.
Yeah.
And he said he knew that it would give me a solid stomach, which it has.
Yeah. Now, did you puke after that one?
No. Well, it might have had something to do with the Crown Royal a couple hours later.
Yeah.
But and the year after this one, I killed a really rat antlered 7-pointer. I don't even think he's in this mess here out in the barn. 178 pounds.
Huh. Now, I am going to catch you on that one because you were telling us about one when we were out in the living room.
Yeah.
Of a heavy buck that had a real small rack. Which one was that?
Okay, that's a Maine buck.
Okay. Is that rack in here?
Yeah.
Is it that one that's painted green right there?
No,
Oh,
that's a Maine buck too that I killed. That one was 180. Grab those antlers and look at that. That's the first buck I killed in Maine.
the one right here with the green.
That's correct.
That's a cool deer.
And that's how I used to kind of set him up, was like that. He's just a
Yeah. Is that epoxy?
no. That's I used to do that with let's see, glue and sawdust.
So I got to.
Oh, really? Glue and sawdust?
Yeah, and then
That's
I'd
cool.
put where the skull is, and I'd put a mounting thing.
Oh my! Is it this one?
I never even knew anything about it.
This is a big
No,
old-
that's not that.
That's not it.
Let's see. Okay, I'm going to show you. He's on this wall.
Okay, he's on this wall.
He's on this wall.
It's that one up there.
He's that little 8 point up there.
Yeah, and that one weighed what?
212.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, and
That's cool.
And that's a young deer. To me, it looks like a
Yeah.
young deer.
yeah, he was 3 years old.
Yep.
So the story on that guy was, this was you know Mike O'Neill.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I met Mike O'Neill way back in the brown shoe days on Black Nubble in let's see, it's in Stratton, but it's Black Nubble is this mountain comes down and
Are
it
you
goes
giving
into
away his
goes
spots
into
right now,
Crocker
Wally?
Mountain.
Are you giving away his spots right now? I'm just kidding. I'm just. But yeah, so you met.
So I met him, and he had killed a 210-pound 10-pointer. It was absolutely beautiful buck.
Yeah.
And we were out in the woods. And they had it. They had just pulled it out of the woods. They had it down by the brook. And so now I lost my train of thought.
He was pulling. You
That's
got.
where 80 years old. So I met Mike, and the reason I brought him up is because where his mother and his family lived, the O'Neills, there was a road that went in. It was IP land, International Paper,
Mhm.
and you drive out there, and the road went to the left towards come on, Wally, one of the Kennebago Mountains, and then the other road went to the right, and there was a big swamp, a navigable swamp that you could walk through, but I mean, it never grew any trees that amounted to anything, and that was off to the right. So I was up there. That was that bug. I think that was like 1989 or 90, and trying to catch up with all of this. So I took off. There was a big sand pile out there, and to my knowledge, it's still there because when I mentioned the sand pile to Mike when we're talking, he says, yeah, he says, my mom's house is right over there. I said, yeah, I know. I said, I killed a 212-pound rat-ass 8-pointer out there, and he goes, oh, yeah? What'd you kill that for? I said, you know why. And so I'm out there. I spent the whole morning out there, and I'm not seeing anything for sign or anything, and I'm coming back on this little tote road, and it's about a 15-year-old cut, but again, any of the stuff that grew up in it weren't very tall pecker poles, they were just about as high as this room at the most.
Right.
And I did jump a deer, and I think it was a buck coming back because I made a swing through some of that, and he was in the slash, and I didn't really get a good look at it. So anyway, I said, I'm starving. I wasn't smart enough to, back in those days, to pack something and bring water and everything. I was a slow learner, so I bet I wasn't 200 yards from the truck where the truck was parked on this road I was talking about, and I'm walking along, and I look, and I see some bushes moving about 70 yards down in some, new growth spruce or hemlock down in there. And I look, and so I walk a little further, and I look, and I can see the back end of a deer. And next thing I see, flashing antlers, and he's busy as all hell, just rubbing his little dinky horns on that tree. And I didn't know how big those antlers were, but about that time, I'm not a real trophy hunter. I'm in Maine, but I figured that body looks really big. So I put him down, and I could not find that deer for, probably half an hour, 40 minutes.
On bare ground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on bare ground, it was warm.
Yeah.
I was up there the first week. I had a lot of commitments with the housing that I was building and everything, which again, work got in the way of that damn 4-letter word. So I going up there, and I was, had that so much time to hunt. So I knew I killed that deer. I knew I killed that deer, but I couldn't find it because you go in there and that hemlock stuff is up about like this,
Right.
So I just kept doing back and forth and back. Finally walked right onto him. He was there like that, high in the front shoulder. And that was him.
Huh.
That's
and
awesome.
I went and had it weighed and everything, and the lady said, do you want to slip on this so that you can, I think that was when they first started the patches. I said, I don't know. I don't know nothing about it. I didn't get a patch.
Yeah, so that would have been your first patch buck.
That would have been my first patch buck.
Right. Well, I mean, that would have been your first patch buck.
In Vermont.
Yeah. You can probably still get a patch for that.
You think so? But you'd have to have a slip, wouldn't you?
No,
I don't.
The guy, I think he does it on the honor system.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
I think he does.
It's called Vermont's biggest bucks club.
He might even listen to this podcast. I'm not sure, but
yeah.
you could definitely get a patch for that.
I got a patch on my Vermont 200.
Did you?
Yep. It's a nice patch.
Good.
It's nice green. It's got, it's nice.
Got gold lettering in
Have
it.
you got two of them?
No, just one.
Oh, because I thought you'd just give me one. So.
I just have one Vermont 200. They're hard to come by.
So now that brings me going from that deer. This one in particular, both gorgeous bucks here. But what about this one? Is this
that one? That right there?
Yes.
That is my best
Antlered deer.
antlered Maine buck. That was. I don't know that he was even weighed, but I know he was 180. But I know, and I also know he wasn't 200.
Yep.
By that time, I had a kind of a feel for it.
Right.
And that's the buck that I told you guys may have read the story because I posted it about when I hunted with the guys from the lumber company and the big the land yacht they had for a car.
Yeah.
Do you remember that story?
Was it like like one of those big Wagoneer type?
Yes, it was.
Okay,
It had more wood grain on it than Johnny Moulton cuts in a day. I swear to God. But that buck there was the one that I was hunting with these guys, and I forget what I had for a car. It was a low slung car, but we all kind of went together, and we were supposed to hunt in a nucleus of an area, and I finally told them guys, I said, I'm gonna head off over that way. It was the last day we were there. And this is where I get into the automatic, the Remington 74. They were 742s.
742s, yep.
So I'm out here hunting, and it's warm. Every time I went to Maine in the early years, there was never any snow. And my only snow experiences, and that was back in the late 80s, 86 I think is when I went for the first time, and I think that's when I killed Greenie here.
Oh yeah.
And that was up at Patton, Maine. So this guy came out of Patton, Maine, also, and so the day's starting to get long. I'm looking at it, and I said, "Wow, I better start heading back." And I found a logging road, and it was very flat up there, and a lot of slash and pecker poles and everything. And all of a sudden, I went up over this rise because I knew that I felt that there had to be another logging road because they were like some strip cuts, but they were further out. They weren't like the strip cuts that you see today. And I went up and over, came over this rise, and I jumped this buck that had absolutely the widest rack I've ever seen. And I brought that gun up, and the next thing I know, he was just plowing down through the saplings, and they were just like going over like that. And then it fell off, and I never saw him. I mean, he didn't even get to send any Texas heart shot, so nothing at him. And I'm like last day. And at about that time, I was almost carrying my gun out by dragging it by the barrel. And so I looked at my compass and I said, that road's got to be that way where those guys said they were going to be parked. So I made my way through maybe another mile, and I'm walking down a logging road that's probably from here to that wall, all gravel, flatter than Twiggy. And all of a sudden I heard a noise. That's back when I could hear off to the right over, it was like a built up like that and a little swampy area here. And then from here it goes down, up, softwoods, and then some hardwoods, mixed hardwoods. And I'm walking along, I stopped and I heard, sounds like a deer. And just as I'm thinking that, you better get ready, this buck jumps right up over the road, and he's just hammering. And this story is kind of funny, because I brought down on, pulled ahead, bang, shot 4 times. Once again, I was shooting a lot of trap back then. I don't know what shot I hit him on. I think the last one had the best sight picture, peep sight on that gun.
How far?
50 yards, 60 maybe at the most.
Yep.
I mean, I was like, I held my stuff together. And next thing I know, I didn't know that. I didn't see him go down. I didn't see that I hit him or anything. I see him going off, and I'm reaching in my pockets, and I'm going like, shit, I got no more bullets.
Oh, no.
But I got bullets.
Yeah.
I got 270 bullets.
Oh, man.
I had a 270 Seiko that I had custom made that I killed quite a few deer with that. And I said, shit. But I know one thing. This thing will put a bullet through it.
270 bullet.
270, put that right in that chamber. It's going to rattle on the way out. But if I need to do a finishing shot,
it'll do one.
It'll be close, yeah.
Yeah. So I started to go over where I had a pretty good line of sight where the deer went, and there he was later. Long shot, one shot. Hit him once. I don't know which time.
See, that's why you got to keep shooting till the gun's empty.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand that when around here.
Well, I didn't have one in the chamber, so I only had 4 shots. See,
Right.
I put the clip in and racked it in, and on we went.
Right.
So here's the rest of this story. I had got that Model 72 because a guy owed me money, and I went to see him, and I said, Joe, I gotta have my money. You owe me $100. He goes, I don't have the money, so I don't know when I'm gonna have it. I said, is that your Remington over there? He goes, yeah. I said, I'm taking it.
Collateral.
He says, I don't want to give that up. I said, well, you get me the $100, you know where it is, but a deal's a deal. You borrow money from somebody or you have somebody do something, you square up with them. I took the gun, so I took the gun. That damn gun, this far down the barrel it was a carbine also, by the way. This about 6 inches down from there, he must have shot that with something in snow or something in, because there was right down the barrel was a bulge, not a big one, but just enough so that you put a straight edge on it, and it was concentric all the way around. It was the same. Huh. But the gun would shoot 100 yards. I made sure of that before I went hunting with it. So this is why I hunt with a Model 7600 280, and I have a Weatherby ultralight bolt action 280. I only go in the woods with 1 bullet because that will never, ever happen. And I did it the following year. I got rid of that thing with the wart in the barrel, and I don't know what I replaced it with. I don't think it matters at this point, but that's something I learned. I just, if I'm going to have 2 guns, they're going to be the same caliber.
That makes a lot of sense.
And Yeah, I don't make a mistake.
Yeah, I was gonna say accidents don't happen that way.
Yeah.
You
And,
gotta
and I run the same loads. Bobby Pelletier, another friend who died suddenly, he used to load for me. And the week before he passed away, I met him right up near where Sam works there. But we had coffee at the Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay, yeah.
And Bobby had 3.5 boxes of shells. They were 162 grain, some Spitzer or something, and a recipe that we had worked up. So I got enough bullets because I'm not that much of a rifle hunter anymore. So although I did kill one last year with
Right.
one, and the year before. And the
Don't
year
count
before,
yourself out.
but just rat bucks, nothing but 8-pointers.
Yeah.
That one there in the back corner, that little one is an 8-pointer. That the year I fell and busted my shoulder up so bad.
Yes, I remember that.
And I brought out the old 243, and I killed that buck on the next to the last day at 10:30, and it was the only buck I saw.
Yep.
And then that's the same gun that I gave to little Blake, Nick
Yep.
Campagna's son.
Yep.
And then he killed a bear with it right after he got it.
That's cool.
Yeah, he came down the next year and we cut the stock down for him. Great kid.
Yeah.
So I was happy to do that. I got stuff that I don't need.
You got to tell us the story about the deer and the fungus. Remember?
Okay,
Yes,
deer
the
and
fungi.
The deer and the fungus. Yeah, okay, that's the 196.1. That buck was on a terrible mountain.
Oh, really?
Small skiff of snow again.
Yep.
You guys you're snow chasers, and I just think that's wonderful. If I was your age and had the time,
Yeah.
I'd be doing it too.
Yeah.
But I don't have the wheels. I do pretty good, but I can't. I can track a deer probably 2 hours, and go fast when I have to go fast. I play so much tennis. I'm in pretty good shape. But then the other thing is, you give up. I got to get back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the get back theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not every deer goes towards the next road for you, So
Yeah.
back to that buck there had a skiff of snow, and that's about the most snow we had, with one exception. I got one other story for you off Terrible Mountain too, and that's that rat ass 7-pointer that I was telling you about after the year after I killed this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But the 196, I got up to the top, and I hadn't found a track yet, and I was cruising that day. Because it was snow. I had learned by that time and that was 1993. 1993, I killed this buck, and I got up to the top, and I'm looking for a track. And by gosh, I found a track, and he's got a doe with him, and I didn't particularly like that. I'd rather had him without the doe, but I took the track, and I messed with that for about an hour up there. He went around the top, the center thing, came back down around, and went back down through the beach lot, and then he headed over. There's a hell of a ravine like that, and he went down into that ravine and up, and he somehow the doe went off. So I'm thinking, he wasn't with the doe. He left her, either that or she didn't smell right. So, and he goes over there. So I stayed on his track, and I got up, and there was a big old yellow birch about like this. By this time, I'm carrying a soda and a sandwich, So this has got to be about maybe 1:30, and I said, "Damn it!" He's headed right down to the bottom where there's a valley that goes up, and then the next thing is Sear Mountain. And Sear Mountain then goes down, and that goes into South Mountain, which is the big mountain that goes from Weston up and over to Ludlow, all towards the south.
Right.
So he's going down there, and I go, man, do I want to go after him? I got stuff I got to do, and maybe I can whatever. So I parked my butt down, got that sandwich out, put it on the ground next to me, took my soda out, it was Pepsi, and I gave it a same thing as that guy. coming
back?
right up his back track, right at me. Boom.
That's awesome. The camera die again?
Yep.
It's too hot, I think.
Really?
Overheating.
That is
I
weird.
think. So it came right back on his track again.
He came right back on his track, that one too.
No kidding.
I've had a lot of luck with that.
Huh.
Hey,
I've had a lot of luck with
rather
that.
be lucky than good any day.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
nice when they come back like that.
And that's the Rat 7 or that's the Fungi buck?
That's the fungi buck.
That's the fungi buck.
So why is it? Yeah.
Right. So where's the fungi come into the
Okay.
story?
All right.
Yeah.
So when I'm sitting there, moments when I first sit down and whatever, of course, I don't know if you've seen, I draw on them.
Yeah.
Draw on the fungus. Fomes appelantis, I think, is the Latin name for those things. Artist conch, they call them. I'm looking over and I see on another, what the heck is the trees they grow on the most? I know this is
Birch.
Yeah, it could have been a birch, but I think it was more of a rotten maple.
Like a soft maple.
Yeah, soft maple. And it was so big, and I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. And then I said, well, I sat down. So I saw that. So I get that buck out of the woods. I got it down out of the snow. I dragged it sideways all the way back down to what we used to call the Newton place, and now this guy from down country bought up all the land.
Gotta love that. Huh?
And
Go ahead. You're good.
yeah, he just got wheeler roads all over the mountain.
Gotcha.
That's too
Absolutely.
bad.
It's just
That
it's
happens a lot
so
now.
accessible to everybody. And I mean, now people can go in there and they don't have to worry about getting lost. And everything I did when I first educated myself on a mountain was with a compass.
Right.
And I tell you, somebody who can run a compass is my wife. Oh, wow, she's an incredible navigational person.
Really.
But anyway,
She's another one like Charlie Foote.
4,000 footers.
Oh, she loves it.
yeah, I heard that about Charlie Foote.
Yeah.
So
Him and his wife.
Yep.
yeah, so I dragged that buck down side hill, probably. You know, the guys that are dragging deer 5 miles. Okay, I know what a mile is. That's a long ass way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long way, and when you're alone, but that skiff of snow is good. But I got it down to the bottom where some of the old farmland is there, and it's all grown up. There's trees like this in there, but there's old remnants of barbed wire on trees, and you know the scene. It's really beautiful. It's mesmerizing.
Yeah.
And I ran out of gas. Wally's out of gas, so I ditched the buck and I went and got my buddy Hank, and told him. He goes, "Oh my God, yeah, I'll help you." I said, "Well, there'll be a case of beer in it for you. You don't have to give me any beer." Well, there was beer.
He didn't turn him down, did he?
Oh no, neither did I. So
That's good.
so we got the buck out, and I came home with a nice buck and a nice buzz, and a very unhappy ex-wife. She didn't get it. This lovely lady here, she's behind me 100%, and you guys got the same thing. We're so lucky. John Moulton and I talk about that a lot too. He's got a great gal, and us guys are really lucky, So back to the fungus. So how many times have you guys gone back to the scene of the crime the next day?
Man, I guess no, I don't think I ever have.
Oh, I used to all the time because of the gut piles on that mountain, and that was the only time that was where you're going to find a coyote to whack. So you bring your rifle back with you.
Gotcha.
But I went up purposely to check the gut pile. But get that, I brought a.
So in a situation like that, I have done it once, and it was on a deer I shot with a muzzleloader. When he walked in, he had one antler, and I had a doe permit for the area, and I think I might even put this. It was the one I put on the Facebook page, the one that was wounded. And when he came in, I see that little antler, and I'm like, I'm not. He was legal either way. He would have counted either as a spike or he would have counted as a doe.
Yeah.
Just because. So I'm like, but I don't think that point's long enough. I was like, I could shoot him on a doe tag, and I'm like, oh, he almost made it through the year. It was literally the last day of muzzleloader.
Yeah.
And I'm watching him come up through the woods, and all of a sudden he gets up there, and he just is not. He doesn't look right. Like his back's all hunched up, his ears are laid back, his eyes are like sunk back in his head, and he was like squinty eyed. Like it was almost like he was completely disoriented. He didn't even know what he was doing. So finally, I decided. I'm like, I had missed a buck the day before, and I said, something's wrong with this deer. I said, maybe I ought to just shoot him. And afterwards, I'm glad I did. But when I shot that buck and he ran up on the hill, I ended up having to shoot him again. Well, when I shot him the last time, he reared back, and I didn't see this, but he like smashed into a tree, and then he rolled down the bank. Well, when I walked up to him, that antler was gone.
Oh,
So I thought it fell off in the leaves. So I didn't think much of it. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to find that up here. So a week later, I went back up to that spot. I was like, I got to go up and see if I could find it. I wanted to scout, and I wanted to see if I could find it. So I was going up there to scout, and I'm walking up through, and I walked the whole path. And I mean, I like almost had the hands and knees, like was looking on the ground for this antler, and I couldn't find it. So I walk over, and I'm looking like where he like made that last buck, and he rolled down the bank, and I'm looking around in the leaves there, and I'm like flipping the leaves out of the way. Finally, I like walked over, and I'm leaning against the tree, and I had my hand like on my chin, and I'm like, where could this antler be? And I kid you not, I literally looked down by my elbow, and the antler was stuck in the bark of the oak.
okay.
He had reared back, and he drove his head into the back of that thing, and it stabbed that antler. And when he flipped, the antler stayed, and he went down. I had a picture of it. I wish I had kept it, but I don't know what happened. But I sent it to my wife and her father because we were all hunting together at the time. And I'm like, can you believe this? And it literally was. It was drove right in the tree. I couldn't believe. I was like, oh, no wonder it wasn't on the ground.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But that's the only time I think I've ever actually gone back
I don't
to
think
the scene.
I have.
Well, I shouldn't say I've gone back a lot, but it's just something that has always drawn me back to it because I killed this particular coyote right here that you're leaning against. No, that one didn't come off terrible. But my first coyote I ever killed, I killed off terrible. I already had a buck, and I went up there because Dad told me I should. And all of a sudden I saw this coyote coming through, and I shot it. And I'll tell you what, I didn't make a good shot on him, but he wasn't going anywhere. But it really bothered me because he just coyote and he just yipped and flipping over and back and everything. And I don't like that. I'd like to put him down quick.
Yeah.
No matter what, I've spined. I think killed quite a few deer with a bow, but I've spined too, and nothing bothers me more than that. That buck right there, I spined him, and he was laying there in the brook. He's crossing the brook, and I launched that arrow right down at him about 20 yards, and I was up relatively high in that particular position. You're probably like me. I adjust my stand height to deal with where I am, so I'm not silhouetted. I like to, if I can't get into a place where I'm not going to be skylighted, I'm going to put my stand lower and just chance it, But that one there, I was probably up 22 feet, and I put it right down, and I was trying to think about the lung on the other side as I let it go, and I was off a little bit, and he went up and it just whacked him, and he was just as live as could be, but he just
couldn't go.
That bothered me.
I was going to say, I think there's probably a lot of listeners on here that have heard that sound.
But I watched I don't know why I don't really watch a lot of shows from out west or anything because that's not what we do.
Mm.
Food plots, feeders and high boxes and whatnot. But a guy hit one right in the shoulder blade. I was surprised. Hit it in the shoulder blade, and that deer just went down. I don't know exactly he must have hit a nerve or something just above
Could
the
be.
shoulder blade in the back,
Mm-hmm.
but not enough to really spine him. But maybe it was a spine shot. It just all happened so quick. Of course, they shut the camera off right away.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I wish I could have shut that camera off in my mind, but
Mm.
it took me. I didn't really want to take and throw another arrow at him until I got down on the ground.
Right. Make sure it was a good shot.
Because at that point, again, I'm pretty steady with stuff, but I was rattled about that.
Yeah.
Again, made me bad, feel bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and in my mind too, I don't think people give deer credit enough of how tough they actually are. You know, people think of bears and how bears are these big burly animals.
Yeah.
You can make a perfect shot on a bear. Now, I haven't done it, but I have talked to a lot of friends, excuse me, that have bear hunted quite a bit in their life and have shot quite a few bears and have a bear be hit perfect and then have it run off and do the death moan. You know, a little bit different. That's obviously more of a, when they blat or growl like that, I guess, from a spinal shot is more, it's a different kind of sound, but... And then you have a bear that gets hit perfect, and then they go off and they'll do the death moan. So it's a...
Yeah. I've only taken one bear, and I didn't think I wanted to take any more until my buddy Tom McElwain over in Maine gave us some bear meat. And then also I got another friend here in town gave me some, and Donna loves it. So she said, you know, you've passed on all these bears. She says, I wish you'd really get one, but, you know, I don't want to kill a 100-pound bear because there's a lot of meat.
It's funny. Maggie likes bear meat a lot
As I
too.
say,
She's always
we
pushing
love
me
bear
to
meat.
She's always pushing me to try to get one.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
it's just tough because this time of year, usually you're trying to button everything up so you can deer hunt more.
Right.
You know, so it's hard to get out and bear hunt really. But
there again, most bear in Vermont, for instance, are killed under happenstance.
True. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
And
Guys are deer hunting and they shoot them.
Just my humble opinion, Vermont really needs to have a bear baiting season if they want to bring the numbers down.
I am 100% with you. Now, I did hear... Actually, I had a gentleman reach out to me yesterday. I haven't had time to investigate it on myself, but I think they did. I thought they just released some information that...
is that your bear?
That's the one bear, yeah.
The bear population in Vermont is higher than they had originally anticipated, but they want to study them for a period of time and why there has been such a boom in bear before they make any decisions on where we should go from here. Like I said, I haven't looked into it. I don't know if it's just hearsay or what, but I would be curious to hear it because I was also told, and I don't know if did New Hampshire add a second bear tag?
I don't know.
So
I don't know this yet.
So that's something I'm gonna have to look into too, because I thought that was something that he had said. But like I said, do not take this for granted. This was just something somebody had said to me. I haven't looked into it yet, but I think we're headed in that. Where I guess I was going with this is, I think we're headed in that direction. There's very few people that bear hunt with hounds anymore, just because of the hassle they have to go through to run hounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, bears have gotten a very, and I know we've had this conversation on this podcast before, but bears have a very bad reputation for tasting bad. I think people really do turn away a huge opportunity for something that's very valuable in meat.
Well, I think you got to prioritize getting the hide right off them and quartered and in the fridge, and more so than a deer.
Right, different animal for sure.
Yeah, especially this now, right? The way the weather is now, I don't really want to kill one.
But even like if you got a bunch of guys at a deer camp and they've never really had a lot of experience with a bear, and they shoot it and they parade it around and hang it on the pole like it's a deer,
It's gone.
it's going to
in a
taste
day.
like
Right.
shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's gone in a day.
Exactly. You got to get them.
Gone for what we want. I mean,
Right.
Like Jeremy's going to be building a cooler down at his new house that he's
Yep.
working on, and that's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That is
It's
a
a
really
great
cool
idea.
Well, especially
agree.
for somebody that murders as many as he does.
Right. Well, I mean,
God bless him. He's the man.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jeremy is a great deer hunter
Yeah.
and a bear hunter.
he's just a great
trapper.
all around
Shed
woodsman.
hunter.
He truly is. I do. We didn't say it on the podcast there, but we will say it here, or at least I will say it. In my mind, in today's society, in this country, hunting as a whole, Jeremy is by far one of the top woodsmen that exists today
Oh, absolutely.
in this time period.
Yeah, hard to
Yeah.
beat. Hard to beat that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't. He's
He's
too
got
well
a few
rounded.
years on you guys, and you guys have an opportunity because you're doing so well to be the same way. Just do what you want to do. Get
Right.
better.
Yeah, I think what makes him so special is how rounded, like well-rounded he is in every. He's just good at everything.
Right.
Yeah. That's very true, and
Yeah.
he's a real pleasure to be with. and
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a
hunt
great
with.
guy.
I just
Yeah.
had
Yep.
such a great time with him. I mean, he's come up here and done some favors for me, helped me change some doors out and stuff, and fantastic
Good
dude.
dude.
Really is. But that's, I'll tell you what, I am so happy to know you younger guys because I learn a lot from younger guys, and you get some of the people there, think that they know it all. You can always learn.
Mm-hmm.
Just listen. If it doesn't sound good, well, then you can filter out what you don't need to hear. But you guys impress the hell out of me. You really do.
Thank
Well,
you.
that's
he
very
does,
much
so,
appreciated.
Yeah. And whatever, but
But we soak in all the knowledge when we get to speak with guys like you too that have had
yeah. Well,
obviously
I don't know.
many years of experience.
I don't know what I can lend to make you better deer hunters, other than, I guess one thing. You guys are already in shape. When a guy says I got to get in shape for deer hunting, he's doing it wrong. Stay in shape,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You got to stay in shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or get a bigger jump on it. Find another way. Like we all know. The guy says, if your dog's fat, you're not getting enough exercise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
so whatever. I wanted to tell you about the rat ass 7-pointer that came after this buck. Again, that was on a terrible mountain,
Yep.
and that was a really good snowstorm.
Really.
Dad was hunting with me, and we went out in the morning and early. He goes, "This sucks." He says, "Let's go down to Ludlow and have some breakfast." So we went down to Ludlow at 9 o'clock, had some breakfast, soaking wet. I was smart enough to bring some extra wools and whatnot. So back to Terrible we go. He says, "What you going to do?" I said, "I'm going up to the top. I'll find me a balcony. I'll find me a track up there." I'm starting to feel confident now. Big deal, kill the deer.
Right.
So, but I knew I could do it again. So the rat ass 7-pointer was like that, but he got tines on about like that. He's in the barn, and long story short, I worked my way all the way up to the top, never just legging it, looking for a track. And it's snowing hard. And by the time I got to the top, it was probably 7 inches of snow, and it's snowing just sideways, coming in and everything. And I no sooner broke out of the hemlocks into the western side. That would be the western side, Andover western side of these hemlocks, into that beach saddle again, my murdering zone, I guess you'd call it. And I saw a tree move over here, and this big doe came out from underneath it. I mean, she was a monster. And I recognized her from a couple years because she had on the back of her ear, she had like a white line. It almost looked like she had a Pall Mall cigarette right there on her ear.
Ha.
She's so recognizable. And she never, ever had a kid with her. So then the next thing after that came another doe. And she comes out from underneath this hemlock tree that's draped over. And she's going in the same direction. And she stopped and she peed.
Holy.
Hello. That's all right. We're good. Hi, doggy.
Old doggo says, I'm a coming in there.
Oh, no.
Oh, saved it. Holy.
Do you like how I didn't even react to that?
I saw it coming.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It was awesome. I wish we were filming for that, but the camera keeps overheating.
That was
there we go.
Perfect
So
timing.
We
that
were
was
just
good.
invaded by two Labradors,
We
knocking
were.
the lamps over and
Oh,
pulling
man.
cables out.
That's
and
funny.
they're my daughters. Donna will say they take after me after this now, so that's okay. But
that was funny.
So this doe goes, this sexier doe comes, and she stops and pees, and she turned around, she looked back, she walked a little bit further, squatted and peed, and I'm like, safe went right off my gun, just like that, and I'm down on one knee like this, and this is from here to where that hemlock, where she came out from underneath, is probably 18, 20 yards, and it's snowing, just blowing in there. And I look, and I got a scope, and I'm not shooting a peep sight at that point in time. And I look at my scope, and I could still see enough to make out a little trees and stuff there. So I didn't try to do anything. I'm just ready. And I hear this, and he's just grunting, and he comes out from underneath that further hemlock over, puts his antlers up in the tree, and he shakes that, and the snow's falling off on his back even more. It's about that high, and he heads right for Miss Sexy over there. That was that.
There you go.
And he
Got him.
finally met
So one of the biggest thing was getting my ass up there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, these are snow days, but I've been a very lucky guy.
Yeah. But still, I mean, that's
I wasn't on a couch.
That's right, yeah.
Exactly.
You were
but
out
that is
there.
as picturesque of a hunt
Yeah,
as you could ask for.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
The only time, like, have you ever seen those paintings? Like, I've always dreamt of what it would look like actually in the wild to see those paintings. You ever seen the
Yeah.
ones where you see the elk and it's a cool morning and you can see it like somebody
the breath?
paints in the steam
Yeah.
coming out of their mouth?
Yes.
The first and only bear that I've only shot up to this point, I'll never forget that morning. It was one of those opening mornings in Vermont, and it was really, really cold.
Yep.
The whole story is really funny, but I just remember when I picked up the bear and he was walking across the ridge, and I just remember he stepped up on this piece of ledge, and he turned and he was like looking around, and he turned his head to like look up the ridge, and he just let out this breath, and I just remember seeing that, and I was like, it was like if you could have had a snapshot right there of that particular moment before the gun went off it was a painting right there.
Yeah.
And that's what I think of. I think of like Dustin DiTilio painting a buck with his head up in the trees, knocking the snow down. It's all coming down over his back, and you're seeing all those little crystals falling to the snow.
Right. Yeah.
It's like something from Fantasia.
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh my God!
What's Fantasia?
Fantasia is a Disney movie of like different musicals and stuff. But there's like you have to watch it to understand.
We'll go together.
All right, fine. Deal. It's a date. All right, Wally. This has been a great episode, and we really appreciate you sitting down with us.
Wow, I've had a great time here.
It was
Appreciate
fun.
I
Yeah.
feel flattered that you'd ask an old fire to.
Oh,
do
yeah,
this.
for sure.
Means a lot to us. So
Yeah.
we appreciate your time.
I have to ask you one more question. What advice would you give your 25-year-old self?
My 25-year-old self.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first, get into shape and stay in shape. You're talking about life, or are you talking?
Everything, anything.
Okay. Let's talk about money a little bit. I would tell you guys, if you were working for me, let's just say you're lunchtime, we're
Sure.
going to say, Isaac, I notice you're paying for everything with cash. Get yourself a credit card and use it like cash, because you're going to build yourself credit. Buy with your credit card, pay it off at the end of the month, your credit rating goes up. And when you want to borrow money, you can because you have a credit rating. If you're buying something with cash, you're not going to be able to do that. And I know a lot of even older people that don't have any credit because they got money, but they just don't want to use plastic. But I just think I only have one card. It's Cabela's card, But that's how I fly. I use it a lot, and so we have a very good credit.
Yeah,
that's one thing, I guess. Get your butt into shape if you want for anything that you want to do because it's good for your health. It'll keep you going. And cherish your friends and respect everybody. Yeah,
that's good advice.
It's all good stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, you know who to respect and you know who not to respect, and you can't get respect from people by trying. You just got to kind of build it,
Yeah.
Probably everybody be laughing about that right now because I said that, but that's really how I feel. My dad used to bring me around to go see all of his older friends. I loved older people. Just a quick story. There was the Paul Adams in Chester, Vermont. Wonderful guy. He ran the funeral home. And my dad was so good to all of his friends and everything. Well, Paul was in the hospital, and Dad would go to visit him every day. And he'd say, "You want to go see Mr. Adams?" I said, "Paul?" He goes, "Yeah, Paul." Okay. So Paul wanted me to call him Paul. So we went to the hospital to see him. And Paul had a cribbage board. And Dad would play cribbage with Paul, and they'd play for $1 a hand. And Paul beat the hell out of my dad, $3-4. So he says, we better get going before Paul wipes me out. So I said, "Goodbye, Paul. Good to see you again." He says, Come over here. He gave me the money.
Yeah.
That's respect, too.
Yeah.
He didn't buy my respect. He was a wonderful man. He was a great,
I think there's an old saying about respect.
Yeah.
Respect is not given, it's earned.
No.
Yeah, you have to earn it.
Right. Yeah. And there again, like my dad respecting where we were going to hunt because, well, we know what that's like with turkey hunting. And you go somewhere and there's a truck there, you don't go there.
Right.
And pretty much that was how we were with deer hunting. But there were other ways to get to the top of the mountain, too, because Dad knew, or by that time I knew nobody else was going to be up there because I don't want to say I owned the mountain, but I pretty much hunted it alone.
Right.
Dad would hunt the lower areas and whatnot.
Yeah.
He didn't come up, but we dragged him. We ended up having walkie-talkies, and they had so many batteries in them. Things they were cube. They were about like that,
like
they
a
were
brick.
that long, and I'm like, carrying that sucker around. But I would call him. And I say, we'd have a code every hour. He'd go pop, 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 1, 2, 3, and if I was okay, I'd go pop, pop back to him, and that would be it. So we didn't have to talk and make noise in the woods or whatever. But he said, "But if you want to talk, go ahead." So, and we had some really good times. Well, a lot of stories about him. But we'll save that for another time, maybe.
Yeah, we'll do another one. It was great.
I'd like
And that's
to.
one thing we'll definitely have to try to do this spring is make time to be able to share a tree.
I would like
chasing
to do
out
that. Yeah.
So.
Hang on a second here. You didn't get one of these yet, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you do now.
Oh, wow. Thank you. That's cool. Is that from one of your spike horns? Well, he would have been a 3-pointer.
No, is it? He was racked.
He was a good
He
one.
was racked. Hell of a brow tine on him.
Oh, man. That's cool. Thank you.
That's the one bear that I killed. That was from Maine.
Oh, yeah, that's a
killed
beauty.
that in Maine by happenstance. It was 210.
Yep. It's a good bear.
And that's the only picture I got of it. That there's another thing. so many guys, they got so many pictures and everything. Dad and I, we never took any pictures in the woods. I'm so sad that we didn't.
Yeah.
Because, and you've seen me write the story about we'd get a deer, and we'd meet up. If he got it or I get it, whatever, we'd both sit on it and warm our butts, you know. It's already gutted, but it's still the carcass is warm, or sometimes before, and he'd produce a Dexter cigar. I would smoke a cigar just because that was what he did. That was tradition. So you got to know, anytime I smell somebody smoke a cigar, and you don't smell that very often.
Not anymore.
But it's totally much more enjoyable to me than a damn cigarette. So
Right.
that's
it's
another memory.
It's pretty nostalgic for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They say smells are like they trigger the hardest memories.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. I knew I had a lot of guys said to my dad, how you really think you should smoke in the woods hunting? Doesn't that? He says, I always know where the wind's blowing.
It's true.
That is very
It's
true.
true. Yeah.
I always
true.
know which way the wind's blowing, and that's it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's my story.
All right, Wally. We'll put a bow on this one. This has been a great episode.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
you guys.
Yes, it was
Thank you.
great. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. And we appreciate all the support. We'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.